Apple TV Plus, which dropped Pachinko. Um, dropped the first three episodes. We're only going to be talking about the first two today. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, we talked about this in our most anticipated TV of the year episode a few weeks back. So if you didn't check that out, maybe you weren't aware. But it's based on the New York Times bestseller of the same name. Um, I just was totally blown away watching this. Not only is this like visually absolutely stunning and beautiful to look at, but I was just really more so impressed with the way that um, they're able to like weave these three stories together so
Yeah,
seamlessly. The storytelling on this is really high level. It seems like you had the same response.
totally. I think the ambition and scope of Pachinko's storytelling is really impressive
Mhm.
and really exciting because, like you said, it also looks amazing. The acting is awesome. The directing is good. Like, I have no notes. Like, I thought it was really mind blowing. Obviously, probably the biggest like creative name attached to the creation of this would be Kogonada, who directed half of the series. Of course, we just talked about his new film After Gang, which we liked quite a bit. Check that review out, youtube.com/nostalgia pod. This series is adapted by Sue Hugh, and then Kogonada and Justin Chong directed half of it, respectively. And the most famous actor, I think, to Western audiences will probably be Yuh-jung, who, of course, we remember from Minari, where she won the Oscar 2 years back. But also Lee Min Ho is pretty famous as well as kind of like a Korean entertainer and stuff. So this whole story of Sunja and seeing her portrayed in three different timelines, as a young girl, as a teenager, 20 something, and then as an older grandma, split between our times in South Korea and Japan. Like, I think there's a lot of ambition, like I said, just a lot going on, but like, I think they're really nailing it so far. Like, I'm super enwrapped.
Yeah. Um, and it's like the little touches of it too, right? So obviously, we're not Korean or Japanese speaking people, so we're watching with the subtitles on. Dave, I'm sure you notice they have the Korean subtitles in yellow, Japanese in blue, and as it goes through the different stories, you start to see the languages blending together, the way that the people talk. And I thought
Yeah,
just that was such a for us being non-Japanese or Korean speaking people to show it in that way so that we're able to kind of see the blending of the dialogue, the blending of the cultures as Japan has basically taken over or
yeah,
Korea at this time. It's just really like little touches like that all stand out. You mentioned how beautiful it looks. Uh, the scenery and the settings are all stunning, but also like the costume design is stunning. Like every single detail of this has been thought through and so
mhm,
carefully put together. It's just it seems like a masterpiece in the making. Obviously, it's too early to say since we haven't seen the whole thing, but
yeah, totally. Like, if this lands, like I think it will, it's definitely one of the best shows of the year without question. Uh, yeah, honestly, like, hats off to everyone playing Sunja. Obviously, Yunya Jung,
yeah.
so good. I think she really can communicate a lot without speaking a
Mhm.
lot. Obviously playing the older version of Sunja, but also uh, Minha Kim, who plays like the middle aged one, like the teenage one. I thought she's like really great, and she's like not super
Yeah.
experienced as an actor either. I think the key is like her connection, attraction to Lee Min Ho's Hansu is like super believable and like makes a lot of sense. And obviously, we kind of expect their relationship to get tangled and messy, given how I think this is going to go. I think Lee Min Ho also really brings the presence and like mystery, but still like appeal that this Hansu character is supposed to have as like a broker, uh, position of power character, a Korean person who actually grew up in Japan and kind of became more in sync with Japanese culture, but is still Korean now coming back to Korea as a different person. I think there's just a lot of like really interesting parts here, and I really can't wait to see it. And to speak nothing of the current timeline where you see Sunja's grandson, Solomon, played by Jin Ha, who we saw in a supporting role on Devs.
Yeah. Um, I one of the things I've loved the most just in the first 2 episodes that we've been able to watch, and there are 3 out. We've only gotten to the first 2 so far. Is seeing through the timelines the way that the like culture has developed, and like they're really living in like very simplistic like fishing village type
Yeah,
setting in the early
that,
timelines, and
right.
then
That's like
uh
Busan,
yeah,
obviously very different from what Busan is today.
exactly. And then you like you mentioned you have Solomon. Is it Solomon?
Yeah,
Is that his name?
Solomon
Yeah, Solomon.
Bayek.
Yeah. And he's in 1980s America, then it comes
Yeah.
over to his family, and it's just a different world, and seeing how it's built up and over the course of her life is just really interesting.
Mm.
um and there's I think all the performances are really great. The older husband, hold on, is it Mazasu, played by Soji Arai. I
Yes.
thought he was really, really effective in the second episode.
Right. The Pachinko
Um,
parlor owner.
yeah, when they're talking about like trying to find his daughter.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Solomon's like stepdaughter, I think it is,
yeah,
who's been missing for a
and
while. Yeah.
just really effective the way that him and his wife have that conversation
Hmm.
together. So a lot of really great performances. Everything looks great. I think if you care about like cinema, but like just care about like storytelling and things looking top notch filmmaking, you have to be checking this out. It's probably, like you said, probably gonna be one of the best things of the year.
Totally. Yeah. Also great to see Jimmy Simpson. I feel like I haven't seen him in a while. He's been working. I looked it up, but like I feel like I haven't seen him since Westworld, and obviously that's not the best compliment anymore. So uh, I think he plays an interesting role as, of course, an American expat in Japan working with Japanese people, and even get Anna Sawai as well, who was in Fast and Furious 9 recently. Like, so there's a lot of intrigue from all these different angles with the plot, and because it's this like epic family tale across time periods of time, the scope is truly what just really impresses me because they're nailing it so far. So I'm really excited to keep watching.
Yeah, I completely agree. Check it out, Apple TV Plus, Pachinko.